It's Fringe Friday! That's right, everybody, we're still in the Twilight Zone, and it's Friday, and it's time to be fringe. From the fringe to the cringe, from coast to coast, from sun up to sundown, it's Fringe Friday. Now your host, Dean Ryan.
All right, well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, whoever that was. Welcome to Fringe Friday. It's a new little tradition we're going to be doing here on Fridays here at the Real Deal Media University because we used to do Fauci Fridays, but you can only talk about that man for so long. And it's Friday. I've had a hell of a week, and I know all of you have, and it's time to prepare for our long weekend and our festivities. And I'm going to bring Our Lady of Scotland on with me and just to join this fringe festivity as we get into the fringe and discover the cringe. Lisa Duffy of the Scotland Yard, right? Did I say that right? Okay, we practiced this in rehearsal and I got it wrong. Anyways.
I'm glad you're getting sniffed by Joe this time.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to be. So anyways, like I was saying.
No, don't do that's not very nice, is it?
Okay. Well, Lisa spilled her coffee on some devices earlier. So this is, I said this is part of her penance. But anyways, so we're going to go over just a few of the headlines real quick. But here is the premise of today's show. We're going to discuss some very far out fringe theories, ideas. And then we're going to open it up to the audience. Then we're going to vote whoever has the most, it has to be coherent, by the way, whoever has the most far out theory that makes sense and you're not making it up as you go along, you're going to win a Real Deal Media mug of your choosing and or shirt. I'm sorry, forget the and part, or shirt. So that is the rule of the game. Does that sound fair to you, Lisa? Because she is the Simon Cowell of the judge panel here.
How rude! I'm not Simon Cowell. He's terrible.
Okay, she is the. She's definitely not the Simon Cowell of the bunch. She is. Anyways, so why don't we just get started here? Today's show is sponsored by the Real Deal Media shop. And we have so many great things. We have the new Daydream Believer towel and backpack. I cannot talk enough about it. And how about that reveal report with George, right? Wasn't that something else? Did you, who here saw that here? That was something with Jesse Casball, right?
Yeah, it was good what I saw with it until the coffee incident.
Yes, Lisa did have a coffee situation, big time. And how is your computer? Is it jittery? Get it?
Well, I'm working on a radiator at the moment, so I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, it was a scene. So anyway, there's a lot of news. Just real quick, I just got word, and maybe we can look into this as the night goes on, that John Durham, the prosecutor of the enduring the Trump administration, has just resigned. Did you hear about this, Lisa?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, well, I heard about it, and it is surprising to say the least. The one angle of it is, well, he's now going to be used as a witness. And that's what we heard about Jeff Sessions. That's what we heard about Elton Barr, AKA, what was his name? I forgot his name. Oh, Bill Barr. Oh, I thought he just went by Elton. I've been calling him Elton for so long that I forgot his real name. Anyhow, what's that?
It does suit him, Elton. It
really does. In fact, if anyone remembers anything from last year during our Saturday night live streams, I did some of the best Elton Barr impressions on the piano, if I recall.
So what happens with the Durham report now then, if he stepped down?
Well, somebody said here John Durham was a plant. I don't know. Maybe he was a plant. I don't know what kind of plant. Could be, or he could have been a head fake. Who knows? Right? Would you want to be like, okay, just, realistically, would you want to be the main prosecutor? Everybody knows your name, your face, investigating the Clintons, or would you want to be the prosecutor investigating the Clintons in secrecy? That's what we have to talk about. or think
Well,
about.
considering the death count and probably the secrecy.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. It's Fringe. So, anyways, we're going to go through a few things now. I'm going to open up the chat now because I have bad habits of not even getting there. It's Friday. We're just being casual in a sense. Now, I have Lisa, I'm sure you're full of wild, grandiose theories and ideas. I know we all are. I have one as well. And I'll go over that I'll put that in there. And I'm a little biased too, because I used to work for Coast to Coast as a producer. So I've had the variety of life there to just pick and choose and just put things together. So I am very blessed, and I know it's an unfair advantage, but that's where I come from. So anyways,
Should be interesting.
Yeah, and I know Lisa's going to find the John Durham story while I get into some of these things going on in your neck of the woods here. So why don't we look at this? The miracle jab passports, and a friend of mine, Jesse, maybe she'll call in. Oh, didn't I just say I was going to put the combo? My friend Jesse in New York literally just got the alert in New York, upper state New York, that her little county up there, they're putting a word on the street that if you see anyone that's not social distancing and minding their own beeswax and having parties, that you need to call the popo on them, and they need to be taken down for spreading too much love. You know what I mean? So it's getting to that point. And then, sometimes we just can't handle it. That's why we got to let our hair down. But before I even get to that, I want to tell you about this John Durham thing, because it's really it's bothering me, and it's my table is going to. Get the John Durham story, and then we'll get to the passport story. Yeah, they're going to require passports now, and people are saying, "Well, I'm not even flying right now. Who wants to?" In fact, Lisa, I know people in England that don't even want to come to the United States because they just don't want to be assaulted by our federal molesters at the airport that are just totally just having their way with everyone, especially when I fly. I swear to you, the guy will just beam at me across the room, even if he's on lunch, put his gloves on, and he says, I'm ready. I'm ready to work. He's clocking in to make sure he has his way with me. Then when they do that to me, because I don't appreciate it, I tell them, as a citizen who's concerned about terrorism, I said, I feel I have to frisk you because you look very dangerous to me. So,
and how did that go down? I bet that goes down well.
Well, they threatened to, one time they threatened to call DHS on me, the FBI, everything, because they said, are you threatening me? No, I said, I'm concerned about you, and, I'm just trying to be a friend. So if you could just do me a favor, just grab them ankles, will you? And it never goes the way you think it does. In your mind, you think it's just, ticky-tack parade and everything. So it never goes that way. Okay, so as I'm reading you the Shakespearean version of the John Durham report here, join the convo and tell me your fringe story, your fringe theory about the world. And then we'll go from there. And again, you'll win your ideal RDM Real Media mug or shirt. So that's how it is. Okay, here we go. Let me adjust my vocals. Here we go. This is John Durham. We're going to get to the bottom of this here tonight on tonight's episode of Columbo. Here it is. Why did John Durham resign, we ask? Well, ex-AG, I'm assuming that's Attorney General, Bill Barr's appointee to look into Russia probe slammed. And they beg the question, so he did nothing? And I always thought John Durham looked like a walrus. Yeah. He has the rights to sing I Am the Walrus, because he is. So moving on here, there's Elton John, or no, that's the lesser known brother. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Connecticut John Durham has announced his resignation from the role effective as of Sunday, February 28th, midnight. The announcement was made by the Justice Department late on Friday, February 26th. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Leonard C. Boyle will serve as the acting U.S. Attorney for the district, the department said. Okay. Anyways, they don't even say why. He's a Trump appointee. Durham is just one of the many U.S. attorneys being replaced by the new administration. So could it be a Biden decision, or the people behind Biden? You know, was it the Vatican who decided it, or the people behind the Vatican? Was it the Jesuits? So we have to just keep digging and digging until we get to Middle Earth. That's where we're going to find the answers here, because we're not going to find them up here. I'm now convinced the answers to all of our questions are not here. We just got to look somewhere else. So you got to get Fringe. Anyways, Durham has been a federal prosecutor. Okay, I don't need to know his bio. Are we doing a biopic, like a film? Who's going to play him? Richard Dreyfuss? Maybe? Okay.
He said that is Fringe Friday. I'd just like to say, he looks like, is it Ryder, the BTK?
Wow, Lisa, you said he looks like a serial killer.
Yes, he does. He looks like, is it Dennis Ryder? I'm sure that's his name.
You know, Lisa, I hope his family's not watching the show. I would hate for somebody to say that about my father. I don't know if I can go on after that. Anyways, here we have Biden's pick for who is the Biden pick for the Attorney General? Which trans all-star is it? I wonder who that could. Is it RuPaul maybe? So a Republican from Iowa pressed Garland on the matter at a hearing. This is, by the way, this is one of the most boringest stories I've ever read. I know it's necessary, but the way this guy writes, I mean, who needs NyQuil after reading this? I'm just going to stop right there, because he's trying to kill our little Fringe party here. All right, so you want to join the convo? Oh, look who's joining our convo. We have Jazz Pop. Jazz Pop, welcome to Fringe Friday. And that was the walrus himself. That is Durham, who's now retiring. He's retiring early to go play golf with Bill Barr there and Jeff Sessions. Do you think we should be concerned about this?
Well, I think we've all been concerned about it for quite a long time. They're all dirtbags. The DOJ is a bunch of dirtbags. They need to just sweep them all out and get all new people. And it's been that way for decades. You know, they've done nothing but cover up for big criminals and chase after little guys and give their friends plea deals. I mean, that they're so ineffective for decades that I can't be surprised. Am I disappointed? Yes. But I was disappointed in Barr. I've been disappointed in everybody that's ever worked for the DOJ since I've, been old enough to read. So I don't know what else to say.
Well, you've been reading for a long time. I'm guessing you've been reading for a long time, but meaning they've been corrupt for a long time. See, Lisa, it's bad when you have to explain the one-liner. Okay, so here, Jazz, check this out. And I want you to think of your theory. I want you to think of the most fringiest theory, and you can win a RDM mug of your choosing, just so you know. So it's an equal opportunity event here. This is a once in a lifetime. But let's talk about passports. You know, I was a guy who I've been fortunate enough to have traveled the world before the world turned into a digital hellhole, where they're virtually turning the airports into gulags and rectal exam stations. That's what they're turning everything into. But now it's even getting worse. JS, look at this. Look what's going to be required here to fly. Unless you're one of them, unless you're the X-ray machine, Michael Chertoff, mad scientist. So here is the vaccine passport. Oh, God, I'm sorry. At least I said the V word, and I said every time I say that, I'm going to put $5 into the piggy bank and send it to you. Okay, here it is. Miracle Jab passports will be here by the summer, says the EU leaders of Britons hopes of beach holiday. God, I don't. By the, why is it Britons? Why do they say Britons? Why can't they just say British? Lisa, you're from England, I assume.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you. So here it is. Maybe we'll ask Jimmy's Life Matters later. Vaccine passport. God, again. Okay, that's $10. I don't know if I can even read this. I'm having trouble today. Because it's Daily Mail. They make it so impossible for you to maneuver anywhere. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like, wow, I just bought this computer. Now it's completely corrupted. So the EU leaders agree to work on vaccine. That's $15. Okay, Greece and Spain desperate to passport policy kickstart. Basically, they want you to show proof of the miracle in your life before you go anywhere. And then you have the German chancellor, who, by the way, I thought she was leaving. What the hell happened? Why is the Führer's daughter still in charge? Is anyone from Germany watching? I need some counseling here. So
she's leaving. She's leaving, Dean, but not until September.
Oh, okay. It's the long goodbye. It's kind of like the farewell tour. It goes for like 3 years. Remember when hasn't like Fleetwood Mac done like 10 farewell tours with the Eagles, and then they do the Welcome Back Reunited tour to then do the farewell tour. Anyways, little music history for you.
Yep.
Okay, continuing here. It's Friday, Jazz. I'm losing it. It comes following the pressure of the European countries to have schemes, and it's always Greece New Year. Greece officials plan to have the country open by May, and they want to scheme, and they want to show the proof of what. So virtually everybody involved in the EU, who were either by willingly or forced into it, well, you're going to be part of this World Economic Forum rollout. So, Lisa, let me ask you, as our residential Briton, how bad or how great is the EU? Because I have my own opinions, and I don't know if I can keep them to myself.
What was you cut out at the beginning of the question now? What was that?
I said, how bad or how great is the EU?
It's crap. Okay. That's a short answer. It's just another form of control.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are the odds? What are the odds that the UK gets out of it with the nutty professor as the prime minister, or the next guy, whoever he is, whoever Forseti told us?
We need to get out of all of it, really, because you just go and out the frying pan, out the fire, no matter where you go. Everybody that's in charge at the moment, whether it's the EU or the British government or your government, they're all completely corrupt, and we just need to strip it all away and start again.
I agree, Lisa, and because the EU is connected to all these other transatlantic unions, which then during the Bush years they tried to get the North American Union with our friends from the North who play hockey up there in Canada, and that was almost a thing. And then you had all these building up of the private roads in Texas and all things. So there was definitely a plan. Then they said, well, this doesn't work. So let's just put dirty bombs everywhere, like it's, Easter Sunday, like they do with eggs. And we'll see if they can find it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's that one. Now,
Dean, if I could add, I just want to say that I nominate Jerry Lewis for the next UK Prime Minister. But beyond that, you had mentioned something about the language, about people saying, like, for instance, Britain instead of Britain. And if you've noticed over the last 10 years, they change all kinds of words in the media that are familiar, but they change the pronunciation. And this is part of separating generations. Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about that, because in Seattle, Seattle, Washington, several years ago, they banned the word brown bag. And I'm totally serious right now. you were not allowed to say brown bag. They said it has racial overtones that might be offensive. Then they wanted to ban the word mother and father. Now they're talking about banning Mr. Potato Head. Okay,
Oh, they already
this
have.
is.
They already have.
Yeah. Mr. Potato Head is now something neutral. And this is, but here's the irony, JS. Here's the irony. We are literally dealing with potato heads who are running society because, and I'm very serious, is because the elite have royal blood. Their bloodlines are all royal, meaning they all interlope or interbreed with each other. So sister and brother. And when you do that for generations and generations, that's why they look so damn ugly, because you get a worm in your brain and you go crazy. And I tend to believe that's why the British drive on the left side of the road.
And well, no, this blue blood term, which the royals in any part of the world hate, it's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, because it was how the common people who didn't interbreed said, look, these people are all defective, which they have been throughout history in many, many different instances because of interbreeding.
Yeah.
So they called them blue bloods, because back in the very first thing they could detect among these people were they were all anemic. And if you're not anemic, you're red-blooded. But if you're anemic, your blood lacks oxygen, which makes it blue. And then when you bleed, it looks bluish purple, and then it turns red as it hits the air.
Well, okay, I didn't know that, Neil. Right? Well, that's actually, yeah, that's part of the theme of tonight. So it's fringe and cringe, and that definitely was cringe. So I'm going to move on from interbreeding in the blue blood family, and there's some other things going on. And why don't we even start, Lisa? Why don't you start with a just wild theory? Why don't you just break the what do they call that? The glass ceiling there, right?
Wild theory. What about holographic universe then? This is just all a hologram.
Well, we have to get a bit more methodical and intricate than that, so we can show the audience by example of how this is. Unless I have to go first, and then that's just like asking Michael Jordan to show us how to shoot a basketball first. Go ahead, please.
You want specifics?
You know what? I've just elected myself as to go. So here's how this goes. Okay, so just so we know how this works, I'm now volunteering tonight and walking the plank here. Okay, I have a very wonderful, fascinating imagination. However, it's elements of realism and all this stuff in it. Okay, so here's what I think is potentially happening to all of us and everything going on. I tend to believe that the superpowers of the world, Russia, or formerly, Russia, China, and the United States, are working hand in hand to conjure up a world war atmosphere right now. So there is a arms race. There's a buildup of defense mechanisms and systems. There's a buildup of offense, if you will, and all these things, and all the technology that comes with it, and all, just get all of it out. So, and I'm thinking they're doing this to prepare for the bigger war of humanity versus the extraterrestrial, the Greys. And it really stems back to the 1950s with a deal the Greys made with Eisenhower. So here is what I'm saying, is we're about to enter into, I know this is crazy, but this is how it's going to go. We are entering into a galactic war, with this theory against a off-Earth kind of creature, and it requires weapons that didn't work before, they say, to fight these people, meaning the nuclear bomb, the H-bomb, the bullets, all the things that are just totally elementary, if you will. it doesn't work. So they've had to develop all these new technologies, new weapons to fight the people that are trying to extinct mankind. And I know that sounds crazy, but think about it, Jazz. Think about this. The way the people, the opposition to us, are treating everything and running things, it's anti-human. It's not just anti-black anymore, just anti-Hispanic or anti-Asian white or whatever it is. This is across the board anti-human. So yes, it sounds crazy on its front, on its face, but if you look at the merit of the people and the strategy they're using, the terminology, the spirit they're using, they're eating us, they're killing us, and that's why a good case can be made that we're not really technically, it doesn't feel like we're just fighting humans on some level.
No, it
so
doesn't.
That's my,
and,
yeah.
Dean, you're absolutely right. But I would like to point something out, and this is my perspective. I worked for Lockheed Martin for about 11 years in my young career, and I got to see all kind of technologies back then that we still don't have available to the public now. And I do believe that they are trying to convince us that our enemies are from off-world. But what I would like everyone to consider is that these are our enemies, but they are from here, because we had off-world enemies thousands of years ago that came here, and there were very few of them, and they're brilliant, and most of them are still alive as far as human beings are concerned, and some of them may be bound. But we have what we would call aliens, whether they're grays, short grays, tall grays, Nordics, androids, robotics. I believe those entities and those technologies are all from here. I just think that our view of the world is not complete. And what part of it we don't know about, that's our aliens.
Well, let me just say that, Lisa, it sounds like JS Pop really doesn't want me to win tonight, and just was trying to just take the win. He's trying to make himself win, and the moral high ground here, and that was my moment to shine, and JS just took he was telling me the dream's over is basically what he said. Okay, so I was just throwing myself to the wolves. That is an example of the kind of sentiment we want to hear tonight here, because look, we live in a very subjective world, but we're surrounded by very objective people who are very opinionated. Everybody seems to have 2 cents on everything, and we're just trying to figure it out together. Although the consensus,
we all need to discuss our views, and
we need to discuss our feelings and our views.
Yeah.
Although the consensus being is we can totally detect something wrong. We can totally detect evil amongst us. AKA communism, all that stuff. We can all agree that's bad. We can all agree that inoculating miracles into somebody who's pregnant or someone that was just born, that's pretty bad too. However, let me say, and I'll go to Lisa, and then that Project Bluebeam is a thing. And what I've been seeing the past month, 2 months really, are things that I've never seen before with the naked eye, that if maybe several years ago, maybe more or less, that if I said that to anyone, they say, "Oh, you're crazy, you're crazy." Well, I can say that now because all you have to do is go outside and see things that you've never even seen before in real life, and it makes no sense. But it's okay, because we've been living in a science fiction movie that's become science fact. So now we can just pretty much expect, for instance, like Godzilla can be coming here any day now. That's the kind of level of expectations we have. Lisa, what say you? What is now? You can now say your fringe theory.
Well, mine's is kind of related to your one, and JS, you're both right, because there was extraterrestrial beings, like millions of years ago that lived in this solar system, and their planet was uninhabitable. There is evidence of this. There's evidence of a nuclear war on Mars, and they came here, and they're now the inner Earth beings. These are the aliens. These are your USOs, your unidentified submerged objects, and your UFOs, and they're living inside this planet, potentially on the dark side of the moon as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my fringe theory. There is aliens. They didn't come from Earth originally, but they're here now, and they've been here for thousands of years, interfering in things. Maybe not all for good, some for bad.
Sure. Okay. It was almost as good as mine, but we'll accept that. So anyways, if you want to call in, I'll put this StreamYard on, and I'll keep doing it. And I put it twice, but I know I'm going to do it twice. But yeah, if you want to get in, you want to win the. If you think yours is a bit more coherent than any of us on here on the panel here tonight, you call in, and you could win virtually anything you want at this point. And JS Pop will mortgage his house to make sure you get that. So it's all on the house tonight. We do have a caller convo now. So here it is. Who's our caller? Who's our lucky caller number 9 here? And let's see. Her name is Deborah Spicer. Hello. Welcome to the Fringe Friday broadcast, where you're broadcasting in front of millions across this planetary global prison. What say you? What is your fringe theory to win a grandiose prize tonight? What is it?
Well, I've actually got several, but the one I'm going to go with is because I'm having problems sending myself pictures. But I want to say, like, maybe a couple of years ago, I noticed that whether it was water that came out of the tap, water bottles I bought at the store or a vending machine, gas station, whatever, would have these weird bubbles. And they weren't carbonated, it's just like regular water. And they would, as soon as you'd open it up, these bubbles would just totally fill up the bottle. And it's not just bubbles, they actually stick to the sides. So if you have a glass and you fill it with tap water, these bubbles would form. And they would just stick there.
Yeah.
So I've often thought, are they poisoning us already? You know, we've got the chemtrails, we've got the miracle jab, but to me, this has been going on for a long time, just within the food and things we drink every day.
Okay, so let me just try, because I'm a little slow here. I'm trying to understand. You're seeing bubbles in your water, correct?
Right, they just form. Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm thinking about this, Deborah, I'm freaking out because I've seen bubbles in my water for years. So you're saying that the bubbles could be some kind of toxicity. Now yes. We know that there's fluoride in the water. There's sodium fluoride, right? Yes. Could it be sodium fluoride? You know, I wish Kristen Megan was here to answer this, but she had a problem.
The thing that's interesting is that when I drink this water, I'm still thirsty. It makes my mouth dry.
Oh.
So it's like it's not, thirst quenching at all. And so then my daughter, who's in college, she started to notice that water bottles she got out of the vending machine started having bubbles when they didn't used to.
So we're talking about Aquafina, maybe.
Right.
We're talking about we're talking about corporate water. Okay, so we know that we know that company that makes Aquafina, which is Pepsi. Is it Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
Well, both of them.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They buy up these little companies. You know, Snapple used to be a mom and pop's company, then they got bought out by the big guys. It would make all the sense in the world that the eugenicists who place themselves in these positions of power, well, their ultimate goal is to make sure those bubbles kill you with every measurement known to man. So I would say that you're onto something, Deborah. And is that your final fringe theory for the evening? Did you have another one that? because you are by the way, you are a Real Deal member, so you have another chance. You get two chances to win here tonight because you are one of the elites here today.
Okay. Well, one that I just thought about, I guess it was yesterday morning, was that, we talk about how they want to get Biden out of the way so they can bring Kamala Harris in and Michelle Obama as the vice president.
Right. That's
my,
Operation Martyr, yes.
well, my thinking is that it's really going to be Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, God, no.
Deborah,
Just
I would have stuck with the first one. The bubbles had me.
Don't go there.
The bubbles had me. Then the Nancy Pelosi
the bubbles,
lost me. JS, Deborah had me at bubbles, and then she lost me at Pelosi. But that's okay because we gave her an extra credit, so it doesn't even matter. Because I like the first one, so it's okay, Deborah. I don't care what JS says. So, anyways,
I just want to make a comment on her behalf. In the
wait. You have an attorney here, Jazz Pop. Your attorney is going to speak. Go ahead, Jazz.
I'm just going to say on your behalf, back in the 90s, I had to quit drinking tap water, which, we all did through the 70s and 80s, because it started to smell like bug spray to me. I would literally let it run, get it cold, put it in a glass cup, and as I was bringing it up to my face, it smelled like chemicals that you would spray to kill something. So back then is when I started getting water filters and stuff, and I still use them to this day.
When was this? This was the mid-90s?
Early 90s.
Okay, that seems to be when the change happened. About the 90s, you started seeing the fluoride come in, you saw the chemtrails come in, you saw the CCP, won't let me be, just started taking over everywhere. But Deborah, I'm going to just tell you, why don't we take a vote? So we'll start with Lisa, then we'll go to JS Pop, your attorney, and then I'll throw in a vote as well. So Lisa, tiny bubbles in Deborah's glass. Does she get your vote? I mean, what's the score here? And I have my paper here. I'm taking scores. So out of 10, what grade would you give her?
I'll probably give her an 8 because she is onto something, but I think it goes a bit further than just the water. So I would go 8 out of 10 because it's.
8 out of 10?
All the way into all the processed food and everything as well.
Okay, 8 out of 10. Okay, 8. JS, what is the score for your client here, Deborah? What is your score?
Well, I would give her an 8.6 because I have been aware of that for a long time.
Deborah, okay. 8 and then 8.6. Okay, let's see. I guess it's just down to me. I like the theory. I like that theory. There's something to be said about this because you think you're drinking clean water. You think that it's a brand name I can trust. That really got me thinking. And you think it wouldn't, but because it's so simple. But I like it. I'm going to give you a solid 8.4. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Deborah, for playing, and stand by. And if you win, you will have your choice. Thank you very much. Okay, we have our next contestant. See, this is just moving along just fine. Our next contestant, well, he's no stranger to us Americans or anyone on the west of the Mississippi. He goes by the name Guru. He's down there in the outback chasing dingoes and that baby they stole. Guru, thank you. Welcome to the Fringe Friday extravaganza. What is your fringe theory that just makes all the sense in the world?
Well, I think that one about the water, Mella, just sitting there and we're going, wow, we can see the bubbles in the water now, Dean, and we try to drink a lot of lemon-infused water over here, as an alkaline. So we, diffuse it for hours and then drink, and it's purified before that as well. But yeah, I can't drink tap water, Dean. I can't drink it over here in Australia. A bit like JS, I've just got this taste that I don't like, you know what I mean? So that's what we do. But yeah, now you say that, when you go out and buy a bottle of water, you do see bubbles in it. That's pretty crazy. But anyway, to get on. It is
crazy. And two, just before you go on and impress us here, you have to mention who owns the natural water rights in Australia. because it has. In fact, I'm not even sure Australians really own anything over there anymore.
We can't even get water out of our rivers because some Chinese-owned farm up in the top of in Queensland up there somewhere. I'll find out who it is for you, but they've actually blocked off our river that runs to our farmers, and they've got it all stocked up there, growing bloody whatever they want. And they've got that much water. They don't know what to do with it, Dean, but they won't let it down the river because it's Chinese-owned, and they say no, it ain't going down the river to the farmers. It's just total crap, man. That's our water. Yeah.
Well, it was your water, and now it's the Qin Dynasty's water. So you have to speak proper Mandarin or Cantonese to get a cup of bubbly water. But go ahead.
No, it's disgraceful. I'm looking into Australia for you, Dean, for your special and that, mate. So, I got some good stuff, mate. But anyway, I haven't really got a theory, but I just want to give my little opinion after watching, a lot of stuff, Dean. Obviously, I talk to another guy on one of these shows as well, you know what I mean? And I sit down and I watch a lot of guys like Gene Decode and all that sort of stuff to try and find out what is actually going on here, because everyone is getting impatient of that. So my little fringe theory, not that I want to prize or anything, because, but I think that, look, most of what's going on, it's got to be going on, because I was watching the tunnels with Gene and how much they knocked out and what they were doing and where they were, and doing everything added up with the blast that the people in America are seeing in particular locations. They showed film of the tunnels going underground, the entries. They showed film of inside the tunnels. And it's all happening, and it's just friggin' disgusting, man. I've watched some videos, mate. You have to sit in the lounge and go, Lord, help me. Because what I've seen, Dean, is not nice, man, and it's not good. And I believe it, you know what I mean? So I think the fringe thing is, my little fringe theory is that it's all going down to plan, and they've had a lot of hiccups because these guys are satanically entrenched. They have Lucifer on their side. That's the way I see it, So we're up for a battle, man. We are up for a battle. So I think that it's going down the way that us people here sort of, tend to think that Trump is coming back. I believe the Kim Clement prophecy, so I know Trump's coming back, and I believe that in my heart. Around the 4th, something's going to happen, And then I think that, as they said, then we'll go to this emergency broadcasting, and I think that we'll have, everything come out, mate. You know what I mean? Just like they said it's going to happen.
Well, the problem Guru's definitely he's definitely going for extra credit tonight, because that's really got me on the edge of my seat. Your underground fringe theory, I really, I do like it. But continue, please.
Yeah, well, I just see that the pieces that I pull together, and put together, and the jigsaw that's being built is that everything that they're censoring is the truth, man. Everything they're taking off is the truth. I've got videos here. They're knocking them out of my phone all the time. We've actually gone back to being able to censor the news at the moment, Dean, to share the news over here. So that's good. Again, we can get out and do some stuff. But look, I think the theory is that it's going to happen the way they said it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's a talk, like I've been watching your CPAC, and James O'Keefe from Veritas, man, and his people got up there on stage and let it out. You know what I mean? That was unreal, man. That's what the American people need to see. That's what we need to see worldwide, not just in America. We need to see that everywhere, man. That should be getting shown in China and everything else,
You're
right around there.
Right. Guru, I've been to Australia many times. You believe it or not, I seem to be where all the greatest forms of danger occur. I was there for the Sydney hostage siege, if you recall. When was that, 7-8 years ago? And I was literally there in just nearby Sydney, and I managed to get on American television, the first one. I believe I was on Next News Network, I think. So I phoned up Gary, and I listed all the anomalies about this guy, because what is the gun laws in Australia? You have to put it in a locker or something, or it has to be just for shooting foxes?
Yeah, I'm not a shooter, but you've more or less got to be a farmer or have a reason to go onto property and shoot. Yeah. You must keep your guns like a lot of good. Your guns are locked up. You know what I mean? It's going to take you 20 minutes to get them undead. You get them undone. You're dead before you even get to your guns. Then your ammunition's got to be stored in a separate place.
Yeah.
So I don't have guns. My stepson actually has a gun license, I think, and shoots and that with his dad. But yeah, it's very, if you get someone put an AVO against you doing, proven or not, you lose your gun license.
Well, that's disappointing, but well, let's definitely. Okay, we're going to vote real quick. Lisa, you get to go first, and then JS, and then I'll give my grading on Guru's underground fringe theory what the prophet who said Trump's coming back.
Prophet, yeah,
or satanic. I'm sorry, I'm totally screwing up everything.
All in all, Dean, to round it all up, God wins. Sorry, Lisa, God wins.
Okay. So he's really trying to win now. All right, go ahead, Lisa. He's pulling the heart.
Because he added that God wins at the end, I'm going to give him a 9.5.
Well, there you go, Guru. You're going to have to learn the hard way. So it was a 9.5. Now what is it?
No, it was a 9. I've added 5.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
I was going to give him a 9, but I've added more because he said God wins.
You trying to rip me off, Dean?
Oh, no. It's clearly you have an arrangement with Lisa to share the prize. All right, so 9.5. I'm writing that down. JS, what do you give our friend from the land down under? What grade is our dear friend Guru getting?
Well, I just want everyone to know I consider a 10.0 to be impossible.
Slam dunk.
But I can't agree with Guru more that one of the biggest reasons that people don't get what they see before their eyes is because they cannot equate the satanic
that element
aspect of it. And most people, once they start hearing that, doesn't matter if they're religious, if they're not religious. A lot of normal people just have an automatic shed of that, and I think that's really key for normal people to understand what's going on. So, that being said, I think I'm gonna have to give Guru a 9.3.
9.3. Okay.
Thanks, JS. We gotta have a jam one day.
Okay. I smell inside job here for some reason, but anyways, I'm going to continue. Now, and this is so unfair to the bubble theory prior, but I almost feel like I need to even thin the herd.
We can have three winners. Hey, Dave, we can have three winners for second and third.
Okay, yeah. Now we have that's more prizes, Jazz. But we could do that.
Pay.
We could do that. No, Guru, please. I wouldn't let you say that here, at least on air. I don't want to. Don't do that. Okay, I'm going to give Guru. And I do want to have you back. I know I keep saying that. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm going to give him just because I think it's very bold of him to say this. Although I think there's much more bolder fringe theories out there, and I think people are holding back, and I'm very disappointed because I'm going to have to start getting bold, per usual. Okay, I'm going to give Guru. I'm sorry, but I have to give you just a 9 because, well, here's why. Let me explain this before you delete me as a friend on Facebook. Here's what I want. Okay, just like just like Gordon Ramsay, he reviews people's food. It has to do more than just taste good. Okay, you have to have the right temperature, the right texture. To me, I love the passion, but there wasn't. It was kind of like here, it was there, it was here, it was improv here. It wasn't the formulated fringe theory that I was hoping it would be. Now, it doesn't mean it was bad. So, anyways, that's why I'm giving you a 9.0. I want to give you an 8.5, but I'm not that guy tonight, and I'm giving you a 9.0.
I love your
So there
word.
you go, Guru. So just stick around, Guru, for the end, and you may be the receiver of the Real Deal Media mug of your choice or T-shirt. So thank you for joining us, Guru from Australia. Thank you very much. There we have it. He's going to stand by right there. Okay, let's continue here. And Lisa, any thoughts on the competition at this point in time in this once in a lifetime battle of the minds here?
Well, I'm just hoping that I probably would have given that a 10, to be honest, but I'm hoping that something better's coming, so I'm holding back for the 10.
Yeah. So let me raise the bar a little bit more, and then I think that's going to encourage people. So here's another fringe theory. This one's going to be cringe theory. This is cringe. I'm going the extra mile here. I believe that we are fighting a reptilian class that has literally been devouring humans for quite some time. And if you saw my makeshift little podium here, it would be so embarrassing, but we're not going to do that. Anyways, that they're devouring the human class, and the fact that people are waking up to this solely on the fact of David Icke's books has accelerated their agenda to extinct us, because now we're awakening, and they don't have that. They have enough people that they want to devour. There's no longer need us living in harmony. They've betrayed us. Now there is a war because of this in the Middle Earth that goes all the way down. So we are fighting these reptilians that live amongst us, yes, but really stem from the core center of the Earth. So that is my cringe theory that I'm as I throw myself again to the wolves publicly. And by the way, I understand this is all blackmail against me in the future if I want anything of prestige, but I don't care. So anyways, who can top that? And who's daring to try out?
Do we get to grade your theory?
Well, that would be a little. I don't know how constructive that would be, Lisa. But if you feel that you need to, I'm all for your free will. Go ahead, if you like.
I'm going to give you a 4.
Okay, well, some people live with spite, and clearly you're one of those people. JS. JS, you said you're raising your hand. You're raising your hand.
Yep.
Tell me, because we look, it's in the movies, or what is it? Something, the Body Snatcher movie. All these movies talk about, Rosemary's Baby. They talk about, eating people. So it's not far out, although it really is. But go ahead, JS.
Well, it really isn't if you think about it in terms of reality. Now, it has been sensationalized to look like, you have to be crazy to believe there's human-sized reptiles walking around eating people.
Well, Jazz, I don't mean to interrupt you. Seth Black just brought up, imagine being a reptilian and not knowing it. God,
but what Seth says is totally possible.
What a problem, though.
Because science has already identified that people with psychopathic and sociopathic tendencies have reptilian aspects of their brain that give them a lack of empathy. Okay, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about reptilians. Right. These people do not have empathy. Okay, they don't have the human aspect that the rest of us have. The love for children, the love for
they have a different kind
family
of love,
and friends. This is what reptilian is, and they can make as much fun of it as they want and make these little cartoons of these great big reptilian people. But what I'm telling you is it exists, and it's been identified by science that there are people who are born this way from the time they're little. There are little tiny kids that you give them a puppy and they go and torture them to death.
Well, okay, one of the not so fringe theories about that, not that I'm trying to up anybody here, is when you're being born and you're going through the birth canal, is if you lack oxygen as you're passing through, that could turn you into a psychopath. That lack of oxygen during that very vital moment could really determine whether you're going to be the next Jeffrey Dahmer or the next, Michael Pence. That's how important that is.
And that's a very real scientific theory, and there are many theories. Some of them will eventually, if not yet, be proven right or wrong, and some are not yet.
Okay.
But this is what you're talking about is one of the theories that have been developed to address this very reptilian thing that we're talking about.
Right, and it begs the question of, why were there people like Ted Bundy, who just killed with not a heart, a second thought or anything.
Can I explain why I gave you a 4?
I mean, you don't have to. I just assume
No,
that.
I think it's a good theory, and
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not disagreeing with the reptilian entities. What I'm disagreeing with is the fact that it's perceived to be evil because the media is telling you that they're evil. They're pushing that
The
down your throat.
reptilians.
Yeah, so it always makes me wonder, if they're pushing it down your throats that reptilians are bad, are they really the bad guys? So that's why I gave you a 4.
Well, I can tell you firsthand, I don't know if I'd want to be friends with a reptilian. I don't know if I'd want to hang out. Not that I want to, kill them or anything. It's just not in my purview. But somebody says, Daryl Cockrell says, let's chew bubblegum and kick some ass. And that's a reference to the John Carpenter movie, They Live, from, I want to say 1988. And I not a big story, but I had the pleasure and privilege of befriending Roddy Piper and getting to know him. I was on his show a number of years ago with Sean Stone, and we became good friends. And not that I want to get, I'm not much of a storytime guy, but he was really, really a guy towards the end of his life who was waking up to everything. Because when he did that movie, he thought that it was just about Reaganomics or just something economical. But in the last year of his life, he really woke up. So I had the chance to put him on a big program, and he got his point of view out there. Then he got his own podcast at Podcast One. But I'm a little bummed that Guru left, because this is something that just popped up. Somebody sent this to me in an email. One of our staff sent it to me from one of the viewers who sent it. Look at this email real quick. We'll take just a little dose of reality here. This is coming from, I believe, Verizon, and they're talking about a power outage coming their way, specifically, Lisa, Jazz Pop, March 4th. Look at this. So here it is. It says, we've detected an outage that will affect your Fios services. This may limit your ability to watch television, use the internet, make or receive telephone phone calls until the outage is resolved. We apologize for the inconvenience. Our technicians are working to correct this issue immediately. We estimate that your service should be restored by 3/4/2021. So for the people in England, that's March 4th, 2021, 1 a.m. For further information, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, I found that interesting. What do you make of that, Lisa? What do you think of that little Fringe email?
Yeah, how do they know? Like, was it like a week away now? How do they know that that's going to happen on March the 4th?
Exactly. How do they know? What do they know, and when do they know it? So, JS, what do you think of that? Before we're going to hit a hard break here, what do you think of that?
No, I think it's obvious. I think they know because they're part of it, and it's an orchestrated thing, and it's got some purpose that we're probably not aware of, because it's behind this big veil. This big veil is right now being wrenched back and forth by the people that are trying to open it and the people that are trying to hold it closed. And these types of things, I think, are all part of it.
Exactly. That's a very good, brilliant point. Well, anyways, we're going to take a little break from this wonderful fringy game, and we're going to come back, and then I'm going to get into clones. I don't know if anyone saw that wonderful depiction that was released earlier on the social medias of I want to say it was Bill G's Angels with his 3 wives. We'll have a little look at that after the break, and we'll get into what I can now see. This is the big one. This is out of all my fringe ideas, I think this one fascinates me the most. And I'm going to get into clones and how this is maybe just a film. Maybe this is a big part of a movie that we're starring in. So we'll dig into that, and I'll talk about this because I've never really talked about it before. And we'll get into it. Maybe I'll get higher than a 4 this time. We'll see. Anyways, we'll be right back.
In this episode, we leave Antarctica and take you on a journey across the ages. From the earliest recorded human civilization in ancient Mesopotamia to the mythologies of the ancient Egyptians, the Dogon tribes of Africa, the native Hopi people in North America, all the way to India and the religions of Buddhism, Sikhism and Hinduism. Through the centuries, we will look at belief systems, both religious and scientific, which all point to one thing, the possibility that something exists within our Earth, something that modern day humanity maybe, just maybe, rediscovered in Antarctica. Join us this Sunday for part 2 in our series as we go beyond Antarctica, from myth to legend, exclusively on Real Deal Media.
Find Your Own Truth, Sundays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Real Deal Media.
Welcome to the Reveal Report. What is it?
They have done everything possible to destroy us.
What are they talking about? They obviously want to implement a brand new currency.
Show that they are right, that
Fridays, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Real Deal Media.
It's Fringe Friday! That's right, everybody. We're still in the Twilight Zone, and it's Friday, and it's time to be fringe. From the fringe to the cringe, from coast to coast, from sun up to sundown, it's Fringe Friday. Now your host, Dean Ryan.
Welcome to Fringe Friday. I'm your host. Today's show is sponsored by realdealmedia.com/shop. We have some of the best products out. We've got some really big, exciting, creatively new ones coming just around the corner. And I cannot emphasize that enough. Also, too, I want to tell people that if you want to get a hold of anybody here, whether it's Jazz Pop, Lisa, or the other host who are on Real Deal Media, feel free to email at info@realdealmedia.com. If you saw the review report earlier with George, that's a good place to email him. Also, if you like what you see, feel free to donate. PayPal.me/TheRealDeanRyan, Venmo, Cash App, the same, because we are not funded by Pfizer, that wonderful mom and pop's miracle restaurant. And there you have that. Before we get back to the game here, and George may be joining us. That's the big secret I was holding on to. I want to show you a little magic trick of something that it's amazing how this is. So I'm going to show you a item here, and then I'm going to say a magic word, and this item is going to disappear. I normally don't do magic. I think it has bad effects, but I'm willing to put it all on the line tonight. So here it is. So here is what you see, Land O'Lakes, okay? There you see shares on the cover, gypsies, tramps, and thieves right there, okay? There it is. There it is. Canola oil and everything, okay? Now, watch this. Racism. And what do you know? That same butter that I just showed you disappears. See, David Copperfield has nothing on me. And isn't that true, JS? I'll bring Lisa. Lisa, was that did I get a 4 on that one too?
That was amazing. I think I'm going to give you a 10 for that one, because that was amazing.
You know, I know. I mean, it's like the old thumb trick, but this one, you know, is even better. So that's how easy it can be. So let's get back to what we were saying earlier. There's something happening. What I was trying to do, this is a lead into this story. Okay, the media, and Lisa brought this to my attention, is the media is ignoring something. And when I hear that the big guys are ignoring something, I'm like, okay, I want in. Send them my way. Because, you know, I'm the bad kid in school. So here it is. The media is ignoring something that Antifa and the BLM are doing. Lisa, you want to maybe just do the lead into this blank page here? It's not showing for some reason. Okay. Weird. Lisa, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, so what are they doing while this page loads? Because my computer has literally been on the verge of blowing up like all day, like right now. So what exactly are they ignoring? As I'm having issues with my tech. Okay, so you know what they're doing? They're posting photos, bragging online about storming a Capitol on January 6th. So I just saved us the trouble of having to read that terrible story. So, anyways,
if I could, Dean, this cancel culture.
Yes, it's cultural Marxism.
It's going crazy to the point where there are a lot of people I know who have literally not paid attention to anything for 20 years, who are
bless
now
their heart.
thinking this cancel culture is going to the feverish point of provoking ordinary people who are not Democrat, who are not Republican, who don't pay any attention to the cesspool that this country is becoming for the past 20 plus years. And this is now getting their attention, this cancel culture stuff. I mean, this
Right.
Land O'Lakes that you're bringing up, this is a part of our lives since we were children. And
Exactly.
and these things are all being absolutely smeared out right in front of our faces, not even in front of our faces, but in our faces. And there are people I know who are starting to feel they're being provoked.
And they're saying it's like necessary, if I may, they're saying it's necessary to break these people out of their trance. Now, I'll repeat what my dear old friend Roger Stone told me as I put up the link here, and I'll explain the rules for the Fringe game here. Is he said, if you really want to get people to vote for you in the sticks, in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, whatever, people that like your friend, you let them or remind them that this is going to happen when the Democrats take over, aka the CCP, aka the corporate communists, aka the reptilians, and they're going to take away all your firearms. You're going to take away all your rights, your natural birth rights, everything, and that's pretty much what we're seeing. So. Without going down that rabbit hole, join the convo, play the Fringe game. And this is just a quick tutorial if you're just joining us. It is Fringe Friday, as you heard by our wonderful announcer, Mario, I think his name is. And he, so we're giving away Real Deal Media mugs and shirts of your choice, one or the other. But, and we're keeping score, I have it all logged down here. You have to present the most fringiest theories within your own capability. I mean, you can't just say, you think that some marshmallow man is going to come and just stomp on us. That's not much creativity, because that was the plot in the 1984 film, The Real Ghostbusters. You can't recycle here. So try to be original if you can, and I understand if you can't. So that's going to get you, but you have to call in. You have to present your Fringe case, and then we will go around and take score, and then you could win. So right now, I'm going to say the leader is Guru, who won over the hearts and minds of people and pulled the heartstrings while they were at it. So while we wait, I will again throw myself to the wolf, unless JS has his fringe to cringe theory he'd like to share, because I'm about to go.
About all of my theories are cringe to fringe. But I just want to throw this out there without taking up too much time while we wait for maybe. Come on, people, call in, compete. We're going to have 3 prizes. We've only got 2 contestants. Give us a break, call in. But I had a conversation with my 87-year-old father tonight, who, thank goodness, is not only recovered from a corona diagnosis, but he sounds on the phone and feels 20 years younger since he's stopped wearing the mask. Now, I got to give everybody a little background here. My dad is a person, since he retired, that sits and watches CNN and other news shows, the local news shows. We have channel 2, 4, and 7 here, which is Fox and CBC and ABC. And he buys into a lot of this stuff. But I had a conversation with him today. His doctor is trying to get him to take a regimen of corona shots after he's had it and recovered, which makes absolutely no sense if you follow the
that's
supposed
malpractice.
Science. Yeah, if you follow the supposed science, that makes no sense at all. And I had a conversation with him that got him thinking today. And you know, I love my dad. He's 87 years old. Bless his heart, if I was in Texas. But my grandfather, who was run over by a semi and had his back and arms and legs and pelvis and everything broken into pieces, lived to be 96.
Gosh.
So we have a little bit of a longevity in our family that I would like to preserve, and I do not want to see it cut short by a vaccine. But the reason I never brought this up to my father until today is because he brought it up.
Oh, okay.
Then I talked to him about it because I was afraid if I brought it up, it might be perceived negatively. Everybody use some discernment when you talk to people about what's going on, whether it's the fake pandemic or anything else, political. Try to have discernment when you bring this stuff up to them, and they may be more receptive of it. If they bring it up to you, or even tickle the issue to you, and then you bring it up, they may be more receptive to it. And that's what I found with my dad today, because I've been worried and I've been wanting to bring this up to him for months and months, and especially when he got hospitalized for coronavirus, which I don't know if everybody remembers, but anyway, just a little point of view, and I brought it up because it happened today, and I feel a lot better.
We need to do more public service announcements, because sometimes people don't know. Maybe this is their first time tuning in, but you know, let's definitely touch upon that and keep track of that story as it develops. But so let me get back into the Fringe here, into in the middle of the arena. So, okay, here's something that, you know, I've really thought about, I've struggled with, of how to present this case, and maybe today is the perfect opportunity to do it, since I am pretty much the ultimate contestant right now. So this is how I feel, and this is things I've heard is we're seeing and you may have seen that guy David Zublik. He talked about it earlier on last year in the March and April era. But he talked about a lot of these people being dead. Now, it's said to believe that Bill and Mel Gates, who pretty much inoculated the entire lower class population of India in, I want to say 2012, 2013, that they were found guilty of their crimes, and they were put to death in 2013. That's one of the rumors swirling. And certainly you can make a very, very good case for that, and as you should. However, I would say that even if that is true, that they're being replaced not by maybe per se the doubles, the clones of the white hats, but they're being replaced by clones that the deep state controls. So, for example, let me just show you. I know this is this has a storyline. God forbid. So check this out, and you might have seen this on the front page. And I'm not, you know, there's jest everywhere, but that's just life. But this is real. I mean, there are several different of Bill Gates' wives. So right here you have Bill G's, angels there. So you have Mel Gates, you have Melinda Gates, and then you have Mel. So, I mean, he's like the ultimate polygamist on the world level, global level. But this is true.
None of whom are actual women.
Well, I mean, yeah, that might be true. But I'm serious. If you go type in Melinda Gates, as that JS will do immediately after the show, you're going to see a whole cast of characters, from Kevin Kline, who was really great in A Fish Called Wanda. In fact, he was good in Dave too. That was a good movie. To the Sergeant Slaughter character in the red dress on the right, that goes by Mel, who doesn't seem to wear women's clothes properly, or anyways, But hey, Bill Gates has his own taste. Also, then you have the more effeminate Rick Moranis type in the middle, who is wearing the Farrah Fawcett wig. Not well. So you see these cast of characters, and so understanding that, okay, because there's no denying that, yes, clearly there's several different people here, all right? And so here's what I'm saying. If indeed this is the case, and there's certainly evidence pointing this way, then somebody's in control of this little cinema here that we're enduring and starring in, and they already know the outcomes. The outcomes are already planned. So therefore, that means Obama's in jail. That means Michael Obama's in jail, and all these people have been suicided or killed or whatever, firing squad. I mean, because remember that Trump reignited the federal execution procedures early last year, and then he legalized the firing squads and lynching and all that stuff again. Now, I find it hard to believe that wasn't not used. I don't think he was the guy that would not use it. So, yeah, reality is lying to us in our face, and all you have to do is open your eyes, open your mind, really. That's the real eye you need to open, and see that, yes, there are definitely doubles going around. Who remembers watching the Real Deal Report last year when somebody brought the Kamala Harris double, and it freaked the hell out of me because I didn't think it was real, and it looks like the most demonic gargoyle you've ever seen. So do we have that on file? I know that's hard to keep on my computer, but if you have it, please, because we have to show the people. So what I'm saying is that we are fighting clones, and we're almost fighting sock puppets that are no emotion, or they're trained this way because these people are 100 years plus in advanced technology that the bullets are so primitive here. In fact, my special forces friend said, well, all we have to do is vaporize people. I'm like, really? And they even have bullets now, the CIA has it, that are made of like ice or liquid. So when they puncture you, they liquefy, so there's no trace or evidence, and they go around corners to find the heat of your body. So this is, that's just a slither of the technology we kind of know about. We really don't even know the full extent of it. So it doesn't put it past me at all. We know that Hillary was using them during 2016. I did a show on it. There was like 3 of them. We know that Saddam Hussein used doubles. We know that the Pope was a hologram this last April of last year when he was on the balcony, and then he went away and then he fizzled. We know they do this recently. What was it, Jazz or Lisa? That Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and the other guy, Bush, they were all like in a green screen hologram talking how much, they loved each other. So that's my fringe theory, that we are actually fighting clones that are educating everybody when everything's already determined and planned for the outcome.
Well, and truthfully,
theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, truthfully, Dean, to your point, and this supports your point, it doesn't have to be clones or body doubles because the technology exists. Anybody could take a screenshot of you or I or Lisa or George or anybody or Kristen, Megan, and make a perfectly convincing video of us saying and doing anything they want us to do, and it's not hard. You don't need an office building full of programmers to do it anymore. You put a couple stickers on your face, and they can control
That's true. Yes.
all of our expressions and our voice, and is perfect and everything. All of that technology has been around for decades, and it's been being used for decades.
Right. No, it is. And we just found out you could just phone somebody and make it rain. All right, Nurse Jane, you were up next. If you want to call back for your Fringe theory, and then we'll get to you, and then we'll have at least 3 contestants. Oh gosh, Lisa, you got to warn me before you do that. That I wasn't prepared, but yes, that is definitely That's Kamala Harris on the left. I have no clue who that is on the right. That is, I don't even like looking at that photo. It's pure black eyes, like pure black, soulless. You know, the creepiest photo I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yeah, you don't need Halloween costumes to scare children. Just show
Oh
them
no,
this stuff.
for Kamala Harris, it's Halloween every day of the year. So join the convo, play the Fringe before we say goodnight, and you can win your very own Real Deal Media mug or shirt. So yeah, there was one more theory. Now I do have one more Fringe theory. If nobody calls in, and maybe Deborah Spicer, who has managed to cling on to dear life here in the broadcast room, she might even have one more that can top her tiny bubble story, which is wonderful. She might. Let me check in with our broadcasting agent here, Deborah Spicer from Tennessee. What say you? I know you have one more theory while we wait for a residential nurse to call back.
Well, like I said, I have several. One of them could very easily be, Hollywood does a lot of foreshadowing of stuff they're doing or they've already done or they're going to do. And as far as like clones, they could be for organ transplants.
Right.
There was a movie several years ago, decades, I guess, and it was about these children, the life of these children, and they were actually bred for organ transplants.
Yes, they've been doing that. They've been doing these chimeria children that are fused with swines, and they started doing that in the 1930s. In the Germany scientists who merged with I want to say the Korean or the Russian scientists and the U.S. scientists all together were discovered in Germany. And to furthermore on the clone debacle is right over there in the Getty's Museum in Los Angeles, off the 101 on the way to Universal Studios. Well, it's said to have been that that is where they created the clone or the whatever, the robot named Britney Spears and reprogrammed her. And they've reprogrammed a lot of celebrities. And another rumor mill is a lot of these very rich royals and elites that live in like Dubai. So let's say they like Halle Berry or they like whatever new star on the scene is. Well, what they do is they get a DNA sample of whoever the starlet at the moment is, and they create that clone in a laboratory to then, and they have no personality or they don't know anything, to then use that clone and to feed them to the princes or whatever, and they can have their way with them. So it's not out of the question to look, if they were cloning Dolly the sheep in 97, that's when they relinquished that information. What the hell do we think they were doing before 1997? So we must beg the question. But go ahead, Deborah, before I trample everything you say.
Now, I've been watching. There's a series on TV. It's called Evolution of Evil, and Mao and Hitler they created a cultural change to control the masses and to have more power. And Mao, he started when the kids were little, and they learned to actually like stab things. That's what they did in school. And then I think, with our own children, the fact that, they're told to question whether they're male or female, it's just a plethora of things these children are exposed to. And it's like when you rip away identity,
right?
I'll grow up and barely know who they are.
It's also a form of depopulation without without them cutting your genitals off. You're doing it yourself because you believe that's the popular and the cool thing to do. It's also a form of a pathway into transhumanism. That's the real tea that they don't want to tell you about. Not what they're telling us. So That's a very good point, Deborah. And, I'll give you a higher score than I did before. So, all right, thank you very much. And I think we're going to call it here, Deborah, and we'll get back to you soon. Well, guys, I think that kind of concludes that portion of the show as we begin to say goodnight. And I'm going to go over the scores here. And this is your last opportunity to win a monumental prize, a 7-day, 8-night fully paid expense to Dubai to one of the Saudi princes. Is that right? So anyways, all right, so the winner of today's game, it is, you have a drum roll there, Jazz? Okay, so nobody can hear me. All right. This is great. Okay, the winner of, I guess the returning champ, Guru from Australia, you have won a brand new mug or shirt of your choosing from the Real Deal Media shop, which is sponsoring this wonderful game that we're playing on this Fringe Friday. Guru, you have won, so make sure you contact me.
Let's do it for both contestants because we only had 2.
Okay, we can do it for both contestants. Sure,
Let's
we
do it
have
for
now
both.
we have now amended the rules. Oh, but wait, Nurse Jane has called back. Wait, there's more. This could be just like when you thought the election was over. This could be the tiebreaker right here.
Right, first, second, and third place. Remember?
There we go. Nurse Jane, you could be the tiebreaker here. And with your fringe theory, what is your fringe theory? And it feels like every time you call, I'm talking to a rabbit, literally. I'm Elmer Fudd. Anyways, go ahead, Nurse Jane. What is your fringe to cringe theory on this Fringe Friday?
Hold on, I got to turn something off. Just a second.
Okay, yes, that's. Make sure you turn the stove off and all appliances when calling in. Don't want to blow up the house. This is for all the marbles. In fact, we'll just wait. Do we have any music,
Yes.
Jeopardy music, while she, before she burns the house down? She's trying to turn her stove off, and the
I'm going to
car
play
is
the
probably in the
piano.
garage.
I don't know if you. I'll play the piano. I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah, go ahead, please. That's our Doc Severson playing the piano there. And, I've been playing the piano, speaking of which, for a very long time, and I have not been able to play as of late because I have terrible carpal tunnel syndrome again. Rabbit. Nurse Jane, are you
Hello?
back from your excursion?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can definitely hear
Okay.
you. Yes, we can. So what, Nurse Jane, what is your fringe to cringe theory here on this Fringe Friday on the Real Deal Media University?
Sorry, just pulled over.
Okay, wow.
I'm sorry. I'm driving home from work and I'm pulled over and somebody just asked if I was okay.
Oh, I thought you said you got pulled over.
No. I am pulled over. But
Okay. Thank you.
so I'm driving trying to formulate this theory, okay? And I haven't quite put it all together in my head, but I'm just going to spit it out, okay? Okay, so does anybody know what the Bible says about when the Antichrist comes?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's supposed to be a really likable guy. People want to follow him. They listen to everything he says. He just seems like a really good guy, and you would not think that he's one of Satan's minions. But the Antichrist is to come before the tribulation, and during the tribulation, obviously, will be here. And I started thinking to myself, as pro-Trump as I am, what if President Trump is the Antichrist?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And the reason, there's a couple of things that led me to this. Okay, number one, like I just said, everybody loves him. I mean, a lot of people are to the point of idolizing him now. He's getting more and more popular, even though he's out of the Oval Office right now. people hinge on his every word. They, take his word as gold. And what I mean by that is when he was still in office, he's the one that set forth Operation Warp Speed to get these vaccines made. Now, I'm sorry, I said the V word. Okay, so the thing is, sorry.
$5.
Yeah. All right. Everyone probably knows that there were already patents for these miracle jabs before the pandemic even hit, right?
Oh, big time. I mean, big time. We've seen them, and they even try to get another one started in Spain with the Hanta jabber. Okay, go ahead before I lose myself.
So if we know this, obviously Trump knows this, right? So why would he try to push to get these things out so quickly, knowing that if people start taking them, what may or may not happen to them?
Nurse Jane, let me just add a little conjecture here from the audience. Our very own Brandon Solo has really said, quote, the way Nurse Jane's describing him, maybe Dean is the Antichrist. So let me just put that rumor to rest right now. And let me just tell our very own Sky analyst, Brandon Solo, that I can assure you that I'm not the Antichrist.
Well, you have that soothing voice, people just want to listen to you.
Well, I'm a crooner,
So that is the theory that I'm starting to think about. And as I said, I'm pro-Trump, but I'm starting to see signs that I don't think it's good that people are quote unquote worshiping this man, because he is truly only a man.
Right.
So that's my fringe theory that Trump is the Antichrist.
Okay. Trump is the Antichrist. And why don't we start with JS Pop and then go around to the table to Lisa. And then we will figure out who the winner is.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh, you want to hear her thoughts? Okay. So she's
I have dealt with people who have had a problem with Trump with this vaccine. And from the beginning, there have the majority, listen, just like Dad, who's 87, there are a majority of people who believe in this stuff. And this is what they need to hear to be reassured. And I'm positive that Trump was advised to push this and let this thing go, because if he didn't, everybody in the country would all of a sudden use that to turn against the country. Not just Donald Trump. This is not about Donald Trump. This is about our country. But I believe he did do what he had to do. But I also believe that he never intended for anything but the truth to come out about it afterward with this RNA stuff and the whole shot. Because while he said, hey, the vaccines are going to be available for everybody, warp speed, what did he also do? He got corona and he went in the hospital. And what did he do? He said hydroxychloroquine, the Z-Packs, and the resveratrol, or whatever it was, the other conventional treatment, is what cured him. And he told everybody, do not be afraid of this sickness, because look, your president and the first lady.
But be very afraid of the vaccine.
Well, he didn't say that because he couldn't. See, if he said that, he would alienate a whole bunch of people.
And Nurse Jane, I don't mean to be a censor, but if you could not say the...
I did it again. Gosh, darn it.
So that's $10. You have a $10 fee, it's continuing to rise. Go ahead, JS.
Well, we need like a curse jar. I don't know if you guys ever went to the old clubs back in the 70s, but
You're right.
It would say no swearing, which was a big joke. And every time
Exactly.
someone swore, they had to put $1 in the curse jar. So maybe
So,
we ought to think about that.
Lisa, go ahead. Lisa, what are your thoughts on Nurse Jane's whopper of a fringe theory about Trump being the Antichrist? Excuse me.
I would have to disagree. From reading Revelations, and if you believe in Revelations, I'm not telling anybody what to believe, but if you read it through, I actually see like Trump and JFK Jr., who is still alive, and that's one of my fringe theories, but we'll get into that another time, as being the two witnesses.
She was holding back. I knew she was holding back. Go on.
The two witnesses who are supposed to be, I believe it's Moses and Elijah. So I would see Trump and JFK Jr. more likely to be the two witnesses who are on the side of good. That's just my interpretation of Revelations, if that is what's happening now.
That's a good interpretation. Just for the record, I'm not saying I believe my own fringe theory. I'm just throwing it out there.
So we have a well-rounded circle, but I couldn't. I thought about it. So this is what I do know is last year in May of 2020, we received a call, Mike Adams and myself, we received a call from the White House. I know that's hard to believe. I know that's fringe, but it happened. Well, they called him. Nobody's texting me exactly, but we were called, and one of the sons, and they said the following. And this kind of touches upon maybe the clone theory or elements of that, but they said that their father's not for the miracle jab rollout, and that Fauci was playing a role, like the what's that other woman that was around for a long time, the blonde?
Birx.
Yes, Birx. Yes, they're playing a role. And if you look back at the timeline, they're always like they're for it, then they're against it, then they're for it, then in their integrity and their credibility keeps going down and down and down. So nobody even likes them, none the left nor the right. So then I really looked into it, and in mind you, I don't watch any other shows or read chat boards. I listen to you, the people, and my Karnak ability sometimes, and intel from the inside. So then I put it together that, well, if the Democrats, the CCP, left, if they're using the cover of this social injustice in the peaceful protest to galvanize people and then to mobilize their Antifas, their Muslim brotherhoods, who started the 92 riot fires all in concert and unison, to then use the cover of the TV screen just showing the injustice, and all of a sudden the cops are just shooting black people everywhere, and notice how the media is not covering that right now. So if that's the case, if that's the formula, then why is it not out of the question to think that under the guise of the miracle jab rollout, wouldn't that be the perfect opportunity to mobilize the biggest military force, in the entire world? And so therefore I called it Operation Trojan Horse. And it made all the sense to me because it would be a bloodbath, such a great proportion if somebody was knocking on all these doors saying, hello, your miracle jab's here, we're here to serve you. Well, it works both ways. So that's how I saw it. Now, look at all the money that just left Pfizer and all them. And then look at Merck pulling out. They're saying, oh, we don't want any of this. So there's stuff happening behind the scene. No, I don't like the idea of it. It's playing a dangerous game, but this was an agenda that has been planned for decades. And one man stopping it, I never really bought it. The ones that are going to have to stop it are us, just period. When he went in there, I don't think he had any of the DOJ. None of the FBI, none of the CIA. We're in the midst of an intelligence war. That's why the rumor mill of what's his name, Snowden, who's really CIA, infiltrates NSA to take them down and report it back to CIA. So he could have been a John Brennan creation, who is the ultimate Dr. Frankenstein, evil bastard. So we're in the midst of an intelligence war. And he probably only has the military and the sheriffs and part of the NSA on his side, and the people, of course, but and as far as him being the Antichrist, I can make a case that maybe Obama was the Antichrist. He always had the best press. He was loved by all the youth. He was the first, African American. He could do no wrong. He got no criticism in the media. In fact, the Tea Party that took him on, they all got audited by the IRS that he armed. And so
I used to think that too.
Pardon?
I used to think that also.
Mm-hmm. So I can make a better case that he is the Satan, that he is the guy that said, yes, we can. And then when you backmask it and play it backwards, it says, thank you, Satan. So he's the evildoer. He is the bird brain, low IQ guy that's just being the clone. I mean, that really wraps this whole thing up. It's Obama who's the Antichrist satanic clone that is going to be Operation Martyr eventually. So that was my opinion on it, and I probably went to the max. But you asked, so Nurse Jane, there you have it. You got our thoughts as our last contestant, and why don't we give Nurse Jane a grade, and as we conclude our Fringe Friday marathon at this point. So go ahead. Why don't we start with Lisa? Go ahead, Lisa, and then we'll work our way with Jazz.
Because I don't agree that Trump is the Antichrist, I'm going to have to go with a 3. However, I will say that all 3 people that phoned in should get a mug. And if I buy one, and JS, I'm just going to volunteer you to buy one, and Dean buys one, they all get a mug.
Okay, so yeah, we're going the socialism route tonight, so you're in luck. Everyone gets a mug. So go ahead. So 3 from Lisa, and JS, what is your grade for Nurse Jane?
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah.
I also believe God wins.
Yeah, good.
Well, it's too late. Lisa, you can't change your score now.
You're 5 because God wins.
Well, one thing I think is very important, and I have to say, Nurse Jane, your exact theory has crossed my mind when I've had doubts many times. And I don't discount your theory on whether you believe that to be the case today or not. I think it's a great fringe theory. So I want to give you an 8.7.
Aw.
Okay.
Cool.
8.7.
That has crossed my mind so many times. But I also want to say that we've had 3 great callers tonight. I wish we had more. People ought to be a little bit bolder and
I know,
calling
this
to the
is
show.
fun. People should be calling
Okay,
in.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, we have a very bipolar panel of judges tonight. We low, high, up, down. It's okay. So here it is. I'm going to give my score because, again, it's not that you necessarily believe in what you're saying. It's that you're presenting a fringe theory. Maybe you own it or don't, but it's the fact that you're doing it. So I give you a lot of credit, Nurse Jane, and I'm going to give Nurse Jane because it needs to be, we need to encourage. I'm going to give you a 9.
Well, thank you.
Well, because here's why. It was thought-provoking. It was, it had depth to it. It rubbed people the wrong way, which is good, but maybe it got people thinking that need to be rubbed the wrong way to think internally and within and, look in your own backyard. So I like that. That's what I like to see here on Dancing with the Stars here. So thank you, Nurse Jane. You have, I guess, you will have won a mug of your choice or a shirt of your choosing. And just stand by here, Nurse Jane. We're going to conclude the show. We're going to talk to you afterwards and get all your details and stuff. And try not to get pulled over or have any cops called. All right.
Nope, I'm good. All right.
All right. Well, all right. Stand by. We'll talk to you in about a minute here. Stand by. All right. Well, that concludes our wonderful Fringe Friday. And that, again, sponsored by the Real Deal Media shop, where you can get all your Real Deal needs. So I don't want to go any longer. And anyways, guys, final thoughts here. It was great. I thought this was a good testing ground of where this network's going to go. The additional shows that we're going to bring, of course, everything's going to be refined in good time. But it's going to be a big weekend. And Jazz Pop, I want you to start about what we're doing tomorrow night, which is a musical showcase of some of my greatest music videos. Jazz Pop, our very own Brandon Solo is going to be remixing some electronic beats to some of the stuff we've already done in one of Jazz Pop's songs. So it's going to be a musical treat that you don't want to miss. But go ahead, Jazz Pop, maybe you want to add to that.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. I honestly can't wait to be in part of it tomorrow, just to hear everything that goes on. It's going to be our first time doing this, and we're going to explore it, and then we're going to take it to the limit. We have a lot of different musical talents in our audience and in our staff and with our hosts on Real Deal Media. So I want to encourage everybody. Tomorrow is going to be the first day, and it's been kind of a short notice this week, but you don't have to worry about which week you're going to be on. You can send your contributions to info@realdealmedia.com whenever you like, and we'll get on there. Eventually we'll get on there. But I'm excited about tomorrow, just to hear what everybody has to offer.
Right. And it's probably too, because we have so many new viewers, it's a side of me they may not have seen before. I did a lot of musical numbers over the course of 2020 with our core group and the people here on the platform. So you're going to see some numbers that I did as a Fall McCartney impersonator and some other things in music videos that I put in my late night update specials. You're going to see that too. So the best of in remixed form, and you're going to really enjoy it. But Lisa, before we get any longer here, Find Your Own Truth, your new show is debuting part 2, that is this Sunday. And why don't you just maybe remind people one more time on this Friday what to look forward to this Sunday night for Sunday Night Cinema.
Yeah, this Sunday we're going into part 2 of Antarctica, although we are going to leave Antarctica and we're going to look at mythology and religious beliefs from around the world, going right back to the ancient Sumerians. I've picked 5 because if I'd done them all, it would have been like hours long. And that's what we're going to do this week. And next week it'll be more modern stuff, and it all leads into Antarctica and the inner Earth. And we'll wrap that up in episode 4. It was only going to be 3, but there's just so much information, it's going to have to go over 4.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to all this. Very action-packed weekend, and I'm glad to be back in the mix. And, a night like this is a kind of a one-off, but we should do more one-offs. But, look, I have, like anyone, we've worked hard on these Fridays, but I have had a hell of a week. And if anyone knows the story and the things I've seen in the past 10 days, you would understand why a night like this, to let my hair down, was so much needed. So, as I'm catching up to things and getting this ship turned around to get this performance of excellence here at the Real Deal Media Network, we want to thank everyone for sticking with us, sticking by our side in this great time of challenge. But I do encourage you to have that little enjoyment in your life, whether it's a little game like this or some musical numbers that we're going to see tomorrow night, or some very much needed education that we were not given in these indoctrination camps they call high schools. Well, you can get that right here. And that's what Lisa's program, her wonderful show, Find Your Own Truth, is going to bring Sunday evening for the Sunday Night Cinema. So for JS Pop, for Lisa, for all of us at Real Deal Media, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And we're going to sign off on this very long telecast here. And we hope you enjoy your weekend. We hope to see you tomorrow night. And take a little time to enjoy yourself and stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody.
In this episode, we leave Antarctica and take you on a journey across the ages. From the earliest recorded human civilization in ancient Mesopotamia to the mythologies of the ancient Egyptians, the Dogon tribes of Africa, the native Hopi people in North America, all the way to India and the religions of Buddhism, Sikhism and Hinduism. Through the centuries, we will look at belief systems, both religious and scientific, which all point to one thing: the possibility that something exists within our Earth, something that modern day humanity maybe, just maybe, rediscovered in Antarctica. Join us this Sunday for part 2 in our series as we go beyond Antarctica, from myth to legend, exclusively on Real Deal Media.
Find Your Own Truth, Sundays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Real Deal Media.
Welcome to the Reveal Report. What is it?
They have done everything possible to destroy us.
What are they talking about? They obviously want to implement a brand new currency.
Sure that they are right, that
The Reveal Report, Fridays, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Real Deal Media.